Hey guys, welcome back to a session. Um, and this is about to be the closing session of building a team of believers. And it's how to hold your team accountable. And you are going to have this again in your worksheet, in your PDF that you're able to look at for yourself. But I think it's absolutely important for you guys to um, uh, see how holding yourself and your team accountable is going to go a long way when you talk about pushing your purpose through. And I think accountability is everything. It keeps the integrity of your purpose. It keeps the integrity of your brand. So you're turning your purpose into a profit. Um, Keeping that sacred culture or that intimacy or that pureness of it has to be consistent. So you got to make sure that you can be able to hold people accountable as it pertains to that. So the very first thing we want to do when we hold people accountable is one, uh, you can't be afraid to lose the people that you have right now. You can't be afraid. You have to be willing to lose people, especially if they're not wanting to be a man or woman of their word. If they say I'm gonna do something, they don't do it. They say I'm gonna take care of this, they don't take care of it. They say I am going to such and such, and they don't do such and such. It's important for you to understand. It's imperative for you to understand that you can't be afraid to lose them. You got to hold people accountable because guess what? It's your purpose. It's your mission. And when you don't hold them accountable to what's going with what you have to, what they said that they would do or what you ask for them to do, and it's hard for you to hold them accountable, what's going to happen is it's going to take you off base and off mission of your purpose. So you got to make sure you're doing that. Number two, you want to question their answers. If they just give you an answer, you want to question why. If they say I just decided to do this, well, why did you decide to do that? Anything that's in their head and they provide you an answer, even if you were to ask a question, you want to ask another question to make sure that you have a clear understanding of why they're deciding to do some of the things that they do. I think that's important for us to understand that questioning their answers are absolutely important. Just don't accept anything. If they're giving you a reason or an excuse or something of that nature, don't allow them to just give you an excuse. You want to question their answers to make sure that you can get down to the bottom of it. Nine times out of 10, a lot of the stuff that they're complaining about or that they say they're dealing with is probably just an excuse. Number three, you want to make sure that you make specific statements, not general. You want to make sure that you give deadlines. So you just don't want to say, "Hey, get this job done and leave." You want to say, "Get this job done at this time, at this pace. Turn it back into me so I can review it so that you can get it back." You have to specify exactly what you want people to do. In order for you to hold somebody accountable, you have to give them a specific statement or a specific task. You can't generalize the statement or generalize the task and think that they are going to be there and do the things that you want them to do in a timely manner. Oftentimes, even for myself, I found myself giving barking orders, or I found myself generalizing tasks that I wanted people to accomplish. And when they didn't accomplish it in my time, in my head that I felt like they should have accomplished it, I found myself being frustrated with them. And when I found myself being frustrated with them, what happens is I begin to realize, well, this is something that's consistently happened over, nice period of time. And so it can't be them. It has to be me. And I realized general statements. And I had to learn how to specify and tell them exactly what I want and give them deadlines on when I wanted things done. Four, specific statements are just like make clear expectations. You can't hold someone accountable if you didn't give a clear expectation of what you wanted them to bring, or what you wanted them to do. So if you have a sales team that is pushing your product and they believe in your product because it is solving a problem, and you feel like that's your purpose, you have to give them a clear expectations of what you require from them, or else they won't reach it. It's hard for somebody to reach a goal if they don't know what they're shooting at. So you want to make sure that you have clear expectations. Five, you want to use measurable figures. What do we mean by measurable figures? I simply mean you want numbers don't lie. Figures don't lie. Leaderboards don't lie. You want to have numbers that you can equate their production to, so that you can prove that they are doing what they need to do. Because there's no way you can have a checks and balance without some type of measurable figures or deadlines that they need to hit. I think it's important when you're building a team, especially when you're building a team who believe in the crusade and believe in the mission. People are human, and when things happen in their life, they tend to put the job or what you guys are doing to the side, because it's all about them. So you got to make sure that you have measurable figures. 6, checks and balances. It's very simple. The checks and balances simply just means there's consequences for not getting stuff done. You got to have consequences in place. You have to have some type of a structure, a rudiment that they have to follow, a rubric that they have to follow, or there's going to be a consequence for it. If not, there's no consequence. It doesn't have to be like you want to give them a whooping or something. But it has to be a consequence that means a lot to them. Maybe they miss a bonus. Maybe they miss a trip. Maybe they miss a promotion or something like that. Or maybe they miss out on the chance to be able to gain equity because they're not being a man or woman of their word. Number 7, you want to coach them through their challenges. Coaching somebody through their challenges, I believe, is absolutely important, because that's a way for you guys to kind of grow together. When they've made a mistake or they're having challenges, you're able to coach them through and push them through. Once they get to the other side, they won't forget who coached them. Just imagine, remember your teacher when you was having a real hard time with something, your teacher helped push you through, or your coach. You'll never forget those people. They have a lasting impression over your life. And some of those principles you still activate in your life right now, today. So we want to make sure that you coach them through their challenges. That's how you're able to hold somebody accountable. Because if you don't coach them through their challenges and they just hit this wall and you're just yelling at them and you just want them to get something done because you just wanted to hit this deadline, because you wanted to do blah, 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 and you didn't coach them through that challenge, what happens when they hit that wall? The moment that they hit that wall and you can't help them get over the wall or break through the wall, they're stuck. So you can't get mad at them because you didn't help coach them through the challenge, especially if that's the first time they were able to encounter that challenge. It's important for us to understand that. Number 8, the importance of the importance of the role that people play on a team. Every role is important. Everyone needs to have a specific role. Everybody needs to know exactly what they're doing and what their role is. And if they have to turn something into somebody, want to make sure that they turn something into somebody. And guess what? If they can't get the job done, go back to number 1. You can't be afraid to get rid of them. Just because you have 2 people and you get rid of one, that means you got to do all the work. Well, it's not worth somebody doing something half, but especially if it's your mission, it's your purpose, and it's your calling to maybe go feed the homeless. And if somebody isn't showing up on time and they're not making the sandwiches, how can you feed the homeless if they're not making the sandwiches? So that just means you got to learn how to make the sandwiches until you can find somebody that can get into their place. And then number 9, you want to finish with love. It's important when you understand that holding people accountable, even when you chastise them or you meet them, that confrontation is just simply saying, I want better from you. I want more from you. And so when you finish and you meet them with love, I think it's important for us to understand that as long as they know it's coming from a pure heart, a lot of people actually don't mind to be criticized, no matter what people may think or may say. It's just the way that you do it. If they know that you got a good heart, they won't take it. They won't take it hard, especially if you start holding people accountable on the front end. You won't have to deal with that on the back end. So in short, these are 9 ways to hold people accountable. Number 1, don't be afraid to lose them. Number 2, question all of their answers. Number 3, make specific statements, not general. Give them deadlines. Number 4, have a clear expectations. Number 5, use measurable figures. Number 6, checks and balances. Number 7, coach them through their challenges. 8, the importance of the role that people play on your team. And 9, always, always, always finish with love. Guys, I'm excited. That wraps up our foundation segments. You guys have a locked and loaded foundation for you to be able to move forward in the way that you know that you should and you know that you're capable of. And I think it's important for us to understand that right now, it's about to go down. We're about to talk about products. We're talking about product development. We're going to talk about, where's my sheet? We're going to talk about research analysis. We're going to talk about prototype development, product testing, marketing and branding, partner by design, the guide to building a huge sales team, the price is right, how to check your price to make sure your prices are correct, product and quality assurance to make sure that your product and your quality are A, freaking one. Guys, these are all things that are important to the growth of your business. And I know this is what you've been waiting on. This is something you've been waiting on. And I'm going to tell you, you had to get the foundation down first. I'm sorry. You had to get the foundation down first in order for us to feel comfortable preparing you for this next phase, because it's downhill from now. You're talking about product development, you're talking about testing it. This is where you can start making your money. This is where, if you do this correctly, you should start seeing some type of revenue come in just by administering and doing these rules. So guys, I'll see you in the very next coaching segment, because it's about to go down in Coaching Corner for developing a killer product. Peace from the Middle East.